Okay, welcome back once again to all my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the intermolecular attraction force as well as the hydrogen bond. But before starting this topic, let us revise the topic which we had discussed last time. That is a bond energy level diagram. Then after we had discussed about the bond order and last one, that is the magnetic properties. So first of all, let us revise the topic. First, let us suppose if somebody asks you the question, just like draw the bond of energy level diagram. Draw the energy level diagram of F2 molecules. F2 molecules, and find the bond order and magnetic property, and find the bond order and magnetic property. Okay, so this type of question will be asked, right? Now first of all, you have to know that the energy level diagram of F2, O2, F2 and Ne2 will have the same energy level diagram, right? So now first of all, let us see that whenever we are going to write down the energy level diagram of O2, then first thing that we have to remember that here when the O2 is there, then here what will become first? So sigma to be Z. So first of all, energy level diagram, first of all draw this way. Here F atomic orbital, atomic number is 9. So electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. Same way here F9 atomic orbital, that is 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1, right? Now here F2, that is a molecular orbital, right? So first it comes 1s, okay? Here there is a 1s, right down here 1s, here also 1s. Then comes 2s, this is the energy. Here you can write down energy, right? Then comes 2s. So this is for 2s. Here also 1, 2s, here also 2s, and now it gives sigma. Here sigma to pz. Same way here sigma to pz, x, y, z. Here also x, y and z. This is 2p. Here also 2p. Okay, and here it gives what? That pi to px, pi to py, pi star to px and pi star to py. Is it clear? Here I write down 2px, 2py and 2pz. Same way 2px, 2py and 2pz. Okay. Now here in 1s orbital, how many electrons is there? 2 electrons. So I get 2 here 2. In 2s also 2. 2px 2. 2py 2 and 2pz 1. Right. Same way here 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right. Now here energy level diagram, it gives molecular orbital sigma 1s, then came sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, sigma 2pz, pi 2px, pi 2py, pi star 2px, pi star 2py and sigma star 2pz. Understand? Right? Now you all know that half electrons are arranged in the bonding molecular orbital and half electrons are arranged in the anti-bonding molecular orbitals, right? So here 1, 2, 3, 4. Same way here 1, 2, 3, 4. Now count 2 plus 2, 4 plus 1, 5. So total 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Understand? Now, if you want to find out the bond order, then how you can find out the bond order? Let us see. Bond order, that is equals to 1 upon 2 Nb minus Na, right? So I can write down here 1 upon 2 Nb means total number of electron present in bonding molecular orbital. 2 plus 2 4, 5 6 7 8 9 10. So here I can write down 10 minus Na, 2 plus 2 4, 5 6 and 7 8. So I can write down here 8. So 1 upon 2 multiplied by 4. So it is equals to 1. And here between two fluorine molecules only one bond is there. This is the non-bonding electron pair, right? And here magnetic properties. If I want to write down the magnetic properties, then I can write down here there is a no non-bonding electron pair is there. So that's why we can say it is a bond. So we can say it is a diamagnetic. Understand? Is it clear? So this is how you have to find out. You can draw the energy level diagram, then bond order, and then magnetic properties. Right? Note down. Now, next one. If you want to find out the bond order directly, if somebody asks you a question, then find out the bond order of this particular being. So how to find out the bond order? Let us see. First of all, it takes 14. Write down 14. Then here 15, 16, 17, 18. Same way here 13, 12, 11 and 10. यहाँ पे 3 bond order. This gives 2.5, then 2, then 1.5, then 1, then 19 more, 0.5 and 20 we can say 0, right? Same way here 2.5, here 2, here 1.5, here 1, right? Now see, if somebody asks you diatomic molecules is there, and if you want to find out the bond order, then how you can find out the bond order? See, here CO is there. So in the carbon, how many total number of electrons is there? The atomic number is 6. So 6 plus 8. So total number of electrons 8 plus 6, that means 14. So whenever 14, how many bond order is there? 3. So here between carbon and oxygen triple bond is there. Is it clear? Directly, if you write O2, so in one oxygen 8. So 8 plus 8, that is equals to 16. So between the 16, the bond order will be O double bond. Bond order is 2. Directly. If somebody asks you O2 plus, right? So total number of electron is how much? 8 plus 7. So that is equals to 15. Right? And if there is a 15, then the bond order is a 2.5. Is it clear? Right? If somebody asks you O2 minus, so that is equals to 8 plus 9. So that is equals to 17. And 17, for that the bond order will be 1.5. Understand? So this is how you can directly find out the bond order of any diatomic molecules. Understand? Is it clear? चलो note down. ये याद रखना है. 14 में क्या आएगा? 3. Then after it will be decrease. Here also it will be decrease. Right? चलो. Now today next topic that we are going to discuss, that is the intermolecular attraction force, right? Intermolecular attraction force. चलो. Intermolecular attraction force. Attraction force. Okay. So first thing that you have to know, that Van der Waals mentioned weak attraction force. Van der Waals mentioned weak between two molecules, between the molecules between two molecules, right, on the basis of deviation in ideal gas behavior, deviation in ideal gas behavior, right? What is this? That Van der Waals has presented what? That weak attraction force between the two molecules, right? And that is the basis on the deviation of ideal gas equation. Now, the existence of this weak attraction force cannot be explained by this weak attraction force cannot be explained by what? It cannot be explained by any other chemical attraction force, by any other chemical attraction force, right? It cannot be explained by any other chemical attraction force. So that's why we can also say it is all called Van der Waals attraction force. It is called Van der Waals attraction force, right? And it is also known as a universal, right? So we can also say this phenomena is universal. This phenomena is what? Universal, right? These things we have to know. You can also say there is a presence in the Van der Waals attraction force in the component of ionic substance as well as the component in the covalent substance. So there is some Van der Waals attraction force between the molecules when they can form the covalent bond as well as the ionic bond, right? So next point I can write down that there is presence of Van der Waals. There is a presence of Van der Waals attraction force in the component of attraction force in the component of ionic substance and also in the component of covalent substance. Ionic and covalent substance. Understand? So there is some Van der Waals attraction force is there, right? Its dimension is very less. That is its dimension is very less. That is 42 kilojoule per mole, right? 42 kilojoule per mole as compared to other attraction force. As compared to other attraction force. Right? Then next point you can also say this attraction force prevail up to very less distance. This attraction force prevail up to very less distance, that is how much? 4.5 angstrom. That is 4.5 angstrom, right? Then the electron on the surface of molecules experience attraction force of nucleus of other molecules. You can say the electron on the surface of the molecules, on the surface of the molecules, on the surface of the molecules experience, on the surface of the molecules experience what? Attraction of nucleus of other molecules. Attraction of nucleus of other molecules. Understand? Of other molecules. Is it clear? Hence, the van der Waals attraction force is produced, and the strength of this attraction force is different. You all know that as the strength of this attraction force is different for different molecules, right? The strength is different for the different molecules, and that's why the boiling point and the melting point is also changing. Thus, the boiling point and melting point is changed. Is it clear? So it will be different. Is it clear? So melting point and boiling point, different substance is observed. Is it clear? Now, the intermolecular force is depends upon the following factor. You all know that the intermolecular force, is depends on following factor. First one, we can say shape of molecules. Second, number of electron present in the outermost orbit. So, number of electron in a molecules. Number of electron in molecules. Third one, we can say contact surface of molecules. Contact surface of molecules. And last one, we can also say that average intermolecular distance, right? So I can write down average intermolecular distance. Is it clear? Now, according to the van der Waals attraction force, it will be studied that nitrogen and phosphorus, that at normal temperature, N2 is in gaseous state, whereas P4 is in solid state. Even though both the nitrogen and phosphorus are of same group element, then also the N2 we can say is a gaseous state and P4 is in the solid state. Why? This is because of van der Waals attraction force. Understand? So all these things you have to know. This is all about the intermolecular attraction. Once again, let us discuss. First of all, we had discussed that van der Waals attraction. Van der Waals mentioned the weak attraction force between the two molecules, and on the basis of the deviation in the ideal gas behavior, right? Then the weak attraction force cannot be explained by any other chemical reaction. So we can say it is a universal, right? This phenomena is known as the van der Waals attraction force. It is a universal. There is a presence in the van der Waals attraction force in the component of ionic as well as the covalent substance. Then the dimension is very less, that is a 42 kilojoule as compared to the third, and its prevail up to very less distance, that is a 4.5 angstrom. The electron on the surface of the molecules experience the attraction between the nucleus and the molecules, right? Then after, as the strength of the attraction force for different molecules are different, that's why that's boiling point as well as the melting point are different. The intermolecular attraction force depends upon the four different factors: shape of molecules, number of electron in the molecules, contact surface area, and average intermolecular distance. And the last one we have, it will be given that at a normal temperature, the nitrogen and the phosphorus are of same group element, but nitrogen will be in the gaseous state, whereas the phosphorus are in the solid state. Understand? So all these are the intermolecular attraction force. One thing that we have to remember, that the van der Waals attraction force is a weak attraction force between the two molecules, right? So note down the Okay. Next one, that is a hydrogen bond. Let us see. Next it will be given for hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond. Right? First point, that nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine are strong electronegative element. Right? Like right now here, what nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine are strong electronegative element. Understand? Strong electronegative element. When such element combine with hydrogen atom through the covalent bond, then the electrons are dragged towards the more electronegative atom. अगर ये हाइड्रोजन से कोई कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड से ज्वाइन होते तो electrons are attracted towards the more electronegative atom. So this is the more electronegative atom. So I write down here, when such elements combine with hydrogen atom by covalent bond, by sharing in the covalent bond, hydrogen atom by covalent bond, then we can say the electron drag towards the more electronegative atom. Then the electron drag towards more electronegative atom, more electronegative atoms, right? So here we can say that nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine are more electronegative. That's why all the electrons are attracted towards this atom. Is it clear? So now, thus partially positive charged hydrogen atom of one hydride forms strong attraction bond with the more electronegative. Thus I can say, thus partially positive charged hydrogen atom, partially positive charge hydrogen atom, here partially positive hydrogen atom of one hydride forms what? Strong attraction bond with more electronegative element. Strong attraction bond with more electronegative elements, right, of other hydride, which is called hydrogen bond, hydrogen bond. Is it clear? So this indicate what? The partially positive charge and more electronegative element are combined with each other and it can forms a hydride, right? As for example, HF, hydrogen fluoride, then H2O, water, then ammonia, NH3, right? So all these are the hydride, right? So now here hydrogen bond is weaker than covalent bond. I can say hydrogen bond is weaker than what? Covalent bond. Understand? Is it clear? Then next one. Thus I can say the attraction force produced between electronegative element. Thus the attraction force produce between electronegative element having non-bonding electron pair with positively charged hydrogen atom with positively charged hydrogen atom is called hydrogen bond. Is called hydrogen bond. We'll take example just like as for example here. See, if I write here hydrogen fluoride, so which one is the more electronegative element? Fluorine. So all the electrons are attracted towards the fluorine, so it carries a partial negative charge and this carries a partial. So whatever the bond is there, it becomes polar. So here non-bonding electron pair is there. So between this, here also H dash F. So here carries a partial negative, this carries a partial positive. Same way here also H dash F, this carries a partial negative. Here non-bonding electron pair, it carries a partial positive, and here the bond we can say it is a hydrogen bond. Is it clear? Same way, just like another example. If I write here, just like see here HF. Second example, just like NS3. So N 1, 2, and 3. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Here non-bonding electron pair. Here hydrogen bond is there. Hydrogen, nitrogen. Here also hydrogen. Here also hydrogen. Non-bonding electron pair. Here hydrogen dash nitrogen. Here hydrogen, hydrogen, and non-bonding electron pair. Right. So whatever the bond is formed, that bond is said to be the hydrogen bond. Right. Another example, just like water, oxygen is there. Here H, non-bonding electron pair. Here also oxygen. Here H, non-bonding electron pair. Here oxygen. H, non-bonding electron pair. See here there is attraction is there between these two. Here also attraction is there. Here also attraction is there, and here also attraction. So whatever the bond it can form, that bond is said to be the hydrogen bond. Is it clear? Now, the next point we can also say that NH3, H2O, and HF in their liquid state possess strong hydrogen bond. Right? I can say NH3, H2O, and HF in the liquid state possess strong hydrogen bond. Understand? The strong hydrogen bond is there. Okay? As the boiling point and melting point will be very high. Hence, its boiling point and melting point is very high as compared to that of other hydride of same group. As compared to that of other hydride of same group. That is the group number 15, 16, and 17. Is it clear? Now, the energy of hydrogen bond is, can say, the energy of hydrogen bond is 40 kilojoule per mole, right? And we can also say that the hydrogen bond higher than that of van der Waals attraction force. Hydrogen bond is strong than the van der Waals attraction force. Now, the density of water is maximum at the, you can say, the density of water is maximum at 277 Kelvin temperature, right? And in the temperature of 273 to 277, in the temperature of 273 to 277, we can say that the ice is float on the water because the density of water being more than that of ice. The density of water is more than that of ice. So ice float on the water. Understand? So ice will float on the water. Is it clear? Right? And we can say, because ice is a solid crystal of water, ice is a solid crystal of water by hydrogen bond. By hydrogen bond, right? Between the water molecules, there is a hydrogen bond is there, and thus it can form some ice, right? So all these are of hydrogen bond. See, first of all, we have discussed that nitrogen, oxygen, and chlorine. See, one thing that you have to remember, FON, phone, FON, it can be combined with the hydrogen and it can form a hydride, and that hydride will join with each other by the hydrogen bond. So, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine are more electronegative element. When such element combine with the hydrogen atom, then covalent bond, then electron drag towards the more electronegative atom. Thus, the partial positive charge of hydrogen atom of one hydride forms a strong attraction bond of both electronegative element of other hydrogen. This is called hydrogen bond. Weaker than covalent bond, but it is stronger than the van der Waals attraction force. The attraction force of produced within the electronegative element having a non-bonding electron pair with a positive charge hydrogen is called, see, non-bonding electron pair with a positive charge of hydrogen, right? That is called the hydrogen bond. See, example will be given here. NH3H2HF are in the liquid state possess a strong hydrogen bond. Hence, it is a boiling point and melting point is very high as compared to that of other hydride, and the energy of hydrogen bond is how much? 40 kJ per mole. The density of the water is maximum at 277 Kelvin. In the temperature range 277, the density of the water will be more than that of ice, and that's why ice will be float on the water, because in the solid crystal of ice there is a hydrogen bond is there. Is it clear? So up to here it's enough. Right? So in this video we have discussed about the intermolecular attraction as well as the hydrogen bond, and we have also discussed about the energy level diagram, bond order, and last one, that is the magnetic properties. Right? So in the next video we are going to discuss that what is the importance of hydrogen bond, then types of hydrogen bond, and then metallic bond. Right? So up to here it's enough. Thank you very much.